Some common errors in meditation by Sri Ishwar Sahai ji. A regular process followed under the Sahaj Marga system is meditation on heart, thinking of the presence of the divine light there. It is a simple process, but sometimes, due to complexities of thought in individual cases, complications arise which deprive an abhyasi of the full advantage thereof. For this particular purpose, an endeavor is made to clear some of the technical points of the process which are commonly misunderstood. In the first place, it must be clearly noted that we mean to practice meditation and not concentration. Concentration brings to our mind the idea of fixing rigidly on one and the same thought. This naturally leads us to apply the force of will for the suppression of mind or driving out irrelevant ideas. But experience shows that the more we exert ourselves to it, the stronger grows the reaction in the heart and the rush of thoughts grows more intense. Consequently, the Abhyasi remains involved in the mental struggle all the while, and there is practically no meditation at all. We start with dhyan or meditation, and when we get absorbed in it, we reach the preliminary state of samadhi or concentration. This sort of concentration should not be confused with concentration defined above, which required exertion of willpower. For such concentration, an abhyasi need not struggle within himself. It is the natural outcome of meditation when one's being merges into one thought or feeling. Thus, real concentration follows meditation in due course. It would therefore be a wrong process to take up to concentration first. So, an abhyasi must practice meditation in a simple and natural way, keeping away from the idea of concentration. Meditation implies a sense of thinking over and over again. At the initial stages, it may be with breaks and interruptions, but after some time, it forms a connected link of unconscious thought in the subconscious mind. That is the true form of meditation. With this view, we must only take up meditation without the least effort to concentrate and go on with it in the simplest way, avoiding all physical and mental strain. The next mistake, which sometimes baffles an Abhyasi and of which he often complains, is that he is not able to see the light or to grasp the exact location of the heart. This is but an error of understanding. It is not the actual visualization of the light that is necessary for the purpose, but only a faint idea of it in the form of mere supposition. Those who hanker after visualization of light mean to put it under a material cloak which must necessarily be the outcome of their own imagination. Thus, the thing coming to view, if at all, would be artificial and not the real one. Moreover, the light is not our goal. We take it up only as a base for the thought to rest upon, in order to proceed by it to possessor of the real light or glory. In this way, we mean to proceed from the quality to substance, from the apparent to the real. So it is quite immaterial whether we see the light at all or not. The proper course would therefore be to turn one's attention gently towards the heart and suppose the presence of divine light there. All efforts to localize the position of heart or visualize the light must be avoided.
Shall we take a pause?
Hmm.
Anything to add, sir?
So it's very clear and simple that he says the meditation you just wait. Don't try to concentrate or anything. When you are waiting, naturally your thought will focus onto the real goal, what you want to have in your meditation. And he also makes the comment on the fallacy that we should visualize the light or localize the heart, because the heart region is it extends all over your body. There is no need to concentrate or localize the heart in your body at all. So these two things he made it very clear that don't look for the light and don't look for the heart in your body. Okay, we'll continue.
Yeah.
Okay. Another difficulty which sometimes arises relates to the feeling of awareness during meditation. Generally, it happens that after starting meditation with a conscious idea of the object, he is gradually drifted into a state of apparent forgetfulness. In such a case, he generally concludes that he had drifted away from the point and had missed meditation for the time. But it is not so. The awareness remains only so long as our thought remains in touch with the physical mind. But when it goes deeper into the finer layers of consciousness, the physical awareness is lost, although silent meditation goes on unconsciously in the subconscious mind. The only thing to be done under the circumstances is to revert gently to the object whenever one feels himself lost, and he should go into meditation again without the least worry for the previous unawareness. The other error, perhaps the most serious one, relates to the abnormal rush of thoughts during meditation. This is generally most annoying to an Abhyasi, though in fact it is not so if it is properly dealt with. The ceaseless flow of thoughts is not confined only to the meditation hours, but it continues every moment. But it is more acutely felt during meditation because at that time we try to make ourselves empty of all thoughts and ideas. In other words, we try to create a thought vacuum in our conscious mind. Now, just as the rush of air towards the vacuum is stronger, so the most must the rush of thought, I think it is most the rush of thoughts be more forceful towards the thought vacuum. There's some typo here.
It's must only. It's just
So
as the
much,
rush of
I think it
thoughts,
is stronger so much.
so must.
Okay, it's correct. Now, just as the rush of air towards the vacuum is stronger, so must the rush of thoughts be more forceful towards the thought vacuum. Correct.
Yeah.
There is a huge store of thoughts lying buried in the deeper layers of consciousness. Well, by the effect of meditation, a void is created in the conscious mind. The buried thoughts rise up and force their passage into the void, affecting our grosser consciousness to some extent. The mind, being unregulated, begins to move in conjunction with them, creating all sorts of troubles and disturbances. It is, in fact, not the rising of thoughts that is annoying to an abhyasi, but his own over attention to them, which brings him into direct conflict. The reaction thus caused makes thoughts all the more powerful, and the trouble is aggravated. The commonly advised process for dealing with the situation is the separation of mind by means of forced restraints and physical mortifications. Mind is generally represented as a restive horse which requires a sharp whip for keeping it under control. But the whip may serve as means to keep the evil tendencies of mind suppressed for a short while, not allowing them to materialize into action. In other words, the evil within is retained just as it is, and only its outward action is checked. How far this can be successful is a matter of serious doubt unless the mind is physically disabled to move that way. For the poison of evil buried within may at any time begin to display its action when perchance the control is relaxed. That means a lifelong game of context involving all the risk of reverses and failures. Besides this, the physical separation by strangulation of mind leads to internal grossness and renders the mind incapable of higher ascent in subtler planes. It is, in fact, not the controlling of mind that is suited to our purpose, but its right molding and the proper regulation of its activities. This can be affected not only by the use of whip, but only by purging out the evil through the process of internal cleaning. This is the only effective way for the transformation of the real being of man. Unfortunately, there are some amongst the teachers professing to guide the people in spirituality who apply their material will force for suppressing the thoughts in order to create a state of coma. The Abhyasi, who is incapable of understanding its true spirit, feels greatly impressed since it offers him a sort of sensual pleasure which is grossly misinterpreted as Anandam. Nothing related with the working of senses can offer the real Anandam. And this, being only a play of senses, is far away from the range of spirituality. The state of suspension, commonly misunderstood as peace, is likewise another serious error. It is more like a state of senselessness caused by the effect of chloroform, hence, not the least spiritual in any way. Besides, the suspension of thoughts is greatly harmful for another reason too. If the buried thoughts are kept suppressed in the mind, the chances of bhoga or consumption are stopped. There can be no liberation unless the process of bhoga is complete. Thus, the suspension of thoughts bars the door of liberation forever. For our spiritual purpose, it is essential to make ourselves free from thoughts as far as possible, but it can never be effected by means of suppression, but only by throwing out the poison from the mind, which would stop the creation of thoughts. The rising of buried thoughts helps to exhaust the store by effecting their bhoga. Thus, in due course, the Abhyasi becomes free from them and attains a harmonious state. His mind lake is thus free from the ripples, and perfect calmness begins to prevail within him. The proper course would therefore be to pay no heed to thoughts arising in the mind during meditation and to remain unmindful of them, treating them as uninvited guests. In this way, their intensity will be lost and they will be ceased to be a source of disturbance.
Any questions?
Just on previous page, I think he was referring to Chitta Lake also.
This one.
Hmm. So, Doctor Sir, that means the ripples will continuously reduce as we let thoughts go. Is that right understanding?
Yeah, the thoughts are akin to the ripples.
Hmm.
So once our thoughts are slowly disappear by means of this bog and cleaning, naturally you will have a calm lake
Hmm.
without ripples. That is what he means. So basically, what he says that we should not try to suppress the thoughts that are coming up. Don't react to them. Allow them to go away. So that's the way Master also says. Treat them as uninvited guests and
Hmm.
allow them to go away. That's the way they undergo the bog. And once they are undergone the bog, you are free from that particular thought. And slowly your thoughts will become less and less. And ultimately you get liberation.
Right.
The questions, anything to add or practical difficulties people want to ask?
Ishwar
So
Sahai
then,
addressed the problems all of us face during the meditation and showed the solutions how to overcome those things. So it's a practical way of doing the meditation. He is explained in this article. So these are for the beginners as well as people who are into the sadhana for some time already. Both will face certain problems like this at a certain time in the during the sadhana.
yes.
So
there will
the main
be
thing he says is that don't react to the thought that is coming up. Allow it to go. By reacting to it, you are giving more power.
sometimes what happens is we'll have the period of calmness for a few days, and then suddenly some other thoughts also start coming. And
Right.
yeah, so that's what we should not confuse that we are going backward, right? It is, he explains, right? It's the process of Pug, and the bullet thoughts keep coming out one after the another. So
Yeah. Another layer of our subconscious is opened up.
otherwise, people think that, okay, earlier I did not have thoughts and now I am having thoughts, so I am not doing sadhana properly or I am not progressing. So that also should not be entertained.
Exactly.
So, any questions? Otherwise, yeah, we can stop here for today. Okay, then. Yeah, thank you. We'll see you next Sunday.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.